Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Fort Myers, in person and those of you online, where our mission is to love, grow, and serve. A special warm welcome to each and every one of you here this morning. If this is your first visit with us, no matter who you are, whatever it is that led you to be with us here this morning, or wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we hope your expectations of being in a loving, supporting, and welcoming community will be fulfilled many, many times over. And if you've not already done so, please fill out one of the connection cards that's available in the narthex. Sharing your contact information is the best way we have of being able to actually be here for you as you explore your spiritual path and the many facets of the UU faith tradition. And if you have been with us here for a long time, or if you are an old-timer back for a visit, we hope that you will be inspired and recharged with enthusiasm as we work for the greater good of this beloved community in process. My name is Gary Robbins, and I am honored to be your worship associate once again this morning, along with a number of unseen people, as well as some seen people, who make this service possible, including our powerful little choir, which you might consider joining, please, by asking our wonderful music director, John Dalton, as well as our incredible tech team of Allie, Walter, Brian, Isaac, John, Christian, and Michael, who help make it possible for you to participate more thoroughly in this service here in the sanctuary, as well as those of you who are zooming in from your current location. And last but not least, they also make it possible for you to view past recorded services. In case you weren't aware of that, each of these services is on our website. And you can go there at a time of your choosing by connecting to the link found on our website. Just a couple of housekeeping details during the service today. If you are on Zoom with us, please keep muted and do not chat throughout the service. And for those of you with us in person today, please keep your phones muted while you are here in the sanctuary. And I won't say anything about unwrapping your candy wrappers like they normally do in the theater. I'm thrilled to welcome to our service this morning via Zoom Sister Robin Haynes Merrill, who is not only a minister, an artist, a former mission worker for many years in the Philippines and a resident of Fort Lauderdale, where she is very active in many, many social justice issues. She has also been very active in the work of the Miccosukee tribe of Indians of Florida, and along with the Reverend Houston Cypress, who many of you know, and others, is a co-founder of Love the Everglades movement. Our service today is built around the concept of pluralism, and I can't think of anybody better suited than Sister Robin to speak to us this morning about pluralism. We do acknowledge the history of the Calusa Indians on whose unceded land we reside right here, as well as the Miccosukee and Seminoles and all of Creator's creatures from whom we have taken and occupied their land. With thanks to John Philip Newell, I say, as descendants of those who came to build a new life on this continent, we cannot right all the wrongs of the past. We can, however, be part of new beginnings. We can open ourselves to a radical humility of heart, which is our true strength, and look with expectation for the sacred deep within the other individual, the other religion, the other race or nation or sexual orientation. In other words, we strive to actually embody all of our highest ideals in our every interaction, all of them. We are a living, spiritual, beloved community, and we are here to be open to our deepest personal selves, that we may also help transform the systems of our society to bring peace and healing with all of the Creator's sacred manifestations, so that we might know true peace on earth, not only for ourselves, but for everyone today and for all future generations of all species. Let us now join in continuing this transformational, heart-centered wisdom quest as we begin our morning service.
As we assemble in this sacred space, relax in knowing that you are loved, and breathe in the air that is provided for you today by the great Holy Spirit. Another day of life we share together right now. Enter in.
Before we light the chalice, I have a true story by Li Kynvi, who is a sabbatical minister at First Parish Church of Groton, Massachusetts, and a hospice music therapist. This chalice is for living, the changing, the becoming. This chalice is for losing the script of your life, the chapters about who you are in other people's stories. This chalice is for the lost GPS that was supposed to show you how to get where they expected you to go. This chalice is for skipping the directions, coloring outside of the lines, painting not by number, but by silence, by wild abandon, with a brush you made yourself from light deep inside you. Startling, vivid, a new voice that already knows you. Finally, a true story you've discovered from within. Now, as we rise in body or spirit, let us recommit to our covenant. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Let us now join in singing our opening hymn, number 126, Come, Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Never ceasing, all the songs of promise praise. Perfection, with our hearts in love. Teach us ever to be faithful, may we still by goodness prove. Come out of every vision, lift our eyes to what may come. See the lion and the young lamb,
I'm going to be sharing a story today with you that actually has to do with the hymn that we just sung. And I think it's interesting that your hymn book did the right thing and took the word out. And the word is Ebenezer. And there's a line in that song that says, "Here I raise my Ebenezer." And I was a part of a church in the Philippines that's called Union Church, and that was a union of many different Protestant denominations. And we would sing from a merged hymn book, and I always encouraged people to really know what it is you're singing or pronouncing or what creed you're saying. And if you don't agree with it, you should probably just be silent, because many of the hymns we're singing our theology, we're singing what we believe. And I always encourage people to, why don't you read it first? Or if you're new to a congregation or a service, just listen and see if that's really what you feel and believe, and be okay with just sitting and listening. So when this song, "Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing," it's an original version, had a lot of strange words, that lovely tune, but we didn't know what we were singing. So I started a little article in the church news that said, "What in the world are you singing?" And we would do a little research on different words or phrases that may not be common now, so we could understand better what it was we're singing. So I'd like to talk about the word Ebenezer, because what it is literally a stone of help. And I love the fact that you all have the stones of intention, because that is what the Ebenezer is all about. So in those original version of the song where "Here I raise my Ebenezer," it comes from the book of Samuel in the Bible. And it is 1 Samuel chapter 7, verse 12. This was at a time of war, the Israelites with the Philistines, and Samuel was in that war. And the Lord had helped them out in their battle. And so said, Samuel took a stone and set it between the town of Mizpah and Shen. And he named that stone Ebenezer, saying, "Thus far the Lord has helped us." So that definition of Ebenezer is the stone of help. And that town is actually still there. And so what I did is I collected stones, as many of you do. And when I left the Philippines, one of the things I brought with me were the stones from the church that we rebuilt the church. And there were all these gorgeous stones that were in the fountain in the middle of the courtyard that people were baptized generation after generation. And of all of the things, I felt like those stones just couldn't be thrown away. They were just beautiful stones that had a history. And so I brought a bunch of rocks back with me from the Philippines. And I just kept them and used them for various things. But one of the things I did was I kept one on my desk when we had our gallery on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale, because it was miraculous that we had been brought that far. And I would tell people, when people would come in and look and say, "I can't believe you're here in this place." And I would show them my Ebenezer stone and say, "Thus far, the Lord has brought us. We're here today. I don't know if we'll be here tomorrow. I don't know where we will be tomorrow, but we are here today." And so I would like to encourage you all, whether it's a stone or a shell, a marker, just some kind of a marker that you have with you that is special to you, and you have it somewhere and you realize, I am here today. I've been brought this far. And that stone, that common object, is this marker that you set, and you think about it, that how far that you've been brought with the help of the Holy Spirit. And thank you for allowing me to share this story with you. And we are going to move into a time of centering, where we will have the stones of intention. And when you hold those stones and you just think about how far you've come personally, but how far maybe we've come as a community, as worshiping community, as a society, how far and where we've been brought today. And that's what I'd like you to do as you center. Take a few breaths in, push your shoulders back, settle in, do what you need to do to feel comfortable and to feel centered as you enter into a time with these holy and precious stones.
Indigenous people the world over have deep relationships with nature, and listening for the messages of nature are typical of their practices. Some call it a practice of prayer and deep relationship. The stone you are holding, the Ebenezer, for our practice of the stones of intention, has a history of temperatures, pressures, and chemical components beyond our comprehension. But it is part of the great oneness of which we are all a part. And if we are open to this very stone, it may have lessons we might perceive through our open heart. We ask that you might, in your own fashion, infuse the stone with the energy and spirit of your celebrations, your joys, or your heartfelt concerns for those in your life, or in the life of this congregation, or in our broader community for whom you wish to share your energy, your love, your light, compassion, intentions, prayers, or best wishes. You might choose to caress the stone, to feel its temperature, its shape, or texture. What of its long history speaks to you as you hold it in your hands, or to your heart, or to your forehead? As we prepare to bring our stones forward to place them with love in the receiving bowls with a candle and sand, know that they will be surrounded in community with all the spoken or remembered wishes and intentions of the rest of our congregants. This morning, we wish to acknowledge that among our congregants, there are those who are suffering illnesses and difficulties that are very tiring, trying, and painful. And if you are aware of such acquaintances, please share information on the connection card so that Reverend Sue or the pastoral care team might follow up with them in appropriate ways. And where possible, we ask that you yourself reach out to that person with a card or call, if appropriate, to share your love and concern, holding them all in your and our loving community, just as you did during the service last week for Sima and me and for our daughter Sylvia, for which we wish to express our deepest, deepest gratitude. Of note this week is that our beloved member Judy Burgett is very grateful for the many cards and messages wishing her wellness. She happily expects family coming in from Ohio and Indiana this weekend and next week, and she prefers no other visits or phone calls at this time, but again, very much appreciates our congregational hugs and support. I now place the first stone for all those with compromised health and abilities. May they be in the care of competent, attentive, and loving caregivers. And where possible, may we be courageous and supportive advocates speaking up for their health and social well-being. And I also place this stone for those who are in conflict around the world, the people who are being injured and killed and driven to horrible places because we see people as other rather than being part of the great whole. This stone now I place for all these, and now please come forward for your sharing at this time. And now I will place 3 final stones for all unspoken prayers, meditations, and intentions. I place this for respect, for kindness, and for compassion. May our prayers be heard and our hearts restored.
Hi. I was asked by Gary to speak about pluralism, and I couldn't think of a better thing to talk about than the fact that we here live amongst a sovereign nation that many of us aren't aware of or hadn't learned about. I know that you all have been doing a bit of interaction and study, and know people like Reverend Houston Cypress. But it's something that was new to me, just the whole concept of living in America, being an American, and sharing space with a group of people that are autonomous, and that I am considered a settler on their land. And that is something I'm learning to grow into and live into, as far as what my role is as someone who is living pluralistically on the same land, breathing the same air, drinking the same water. And how do I respect the water and respect their rights? What I'd like to do is show you a short film. It's only 5 minutes long, and it's an abstract film, and that's why I thought I would give a little preface to it and a little bit of an explanation. Houston was requested during the time of COVID, he was commissioned to do a short film by the Contemporary Art Museum of Miami, and I helped him with that film. And what he did was, you'll see a split screen, and those split screens talk about the dualism and the pluralism of his life and our life, whether it's the 2 genders or the 2 different communities, me being extremely white and him being extremely not white, and the different stories that he tells throughout the short film. And I thought this film would just be perfect for this discussion. And afterwards, I'm going to speak a bit more, but we'll move right now into the film.
There's a song for everything. Everything resounds triumphantly. Hiya hola, hu, wayana. Speaking to the world and listening deeply for her reply. We all grow so elegantly when spoken to so gently. Yeah, I wanted to come here because it reminds me of when my grandpa used to take me to collect the cypress wood for his carvings. And so like you can see like the textures in the wood. It's really soft and it's amazing for not only like the wood carvings, but the cheekies and stuff. So this is pretty magical. It just takes me back.
It's beautiful, the textures, but the sounds too. The smells, the sounds. Tribal arts, traditional arts. The Bible has a quote that says, "Then I was a craftsman at his side." We're all doing handiwork, whatever handiwork that the good Lord has given us to do. And it's our duty to do it excellently, and that reflects the glory of the Creator.
My grandparents took me for joy rides. From the res all the way out to Ochapi. That's the Miccosukee word for garden. Ochapi. Stickball dreams. That game, you might say, is similar to what others call lacrosse. Playing across gender, across dimensions. But there's some who like to even up the score and bridge the divide. Men versus women, women versus men. He tosses it to the girls and they sling it to the other side. Lovers that love the swaying cornstalks. She was doing cartwheels before she ever arrived. Mom was born blue out in the garden, tangled in her umbilical cord. Luckily, the medicine man knew all about the circle of life. How to stay in harmony with the dance of the universe.
If you have any questions about the film, I'm going to be around afterward, and you can ask me those then. I heard someone say, what can we do to help? How can we participate? What can we do? And that's such a tricky concept in regard to our relationship with the indigenous communities in Florida. The Miccosukes have, especially the old timers, they have a saying, and that is, leave us alone. And that's powerful, something to think about, but that is what they say, and we have to think about it. I thought one of the best things that we could do today would be to listen to their words. And I have a copy of the text of what would be considered their Declaration of Independence, which wasn't written that long ago. It was 1954. And I thought it would be a very appropriate thing for us to do as a group, to listen to their words. And this is from what is called the Buckskin Declaration. And if we have some of those images, you can go ahead and put them up. I was very fortunate to be involved with this buckskin declaration as it was found and returned recently. It had been given to President Eisenhower, and it was found in his library. Well, when I say library, I mean storage. And it was given back to the tribes here in Florida. And I was able to be there to photograph it. And it's now making its rounds as far as having people learn about it. And I'm going to read it. So obviously this is a literal buckskin. And when you see those X's where people signed their names, it's important to remember that their tradition is oral and not written. They believe in order to survive, they shouldn't write anything down. And so their language was completely oral and not written. And so we would call someone illiterate, correct? That they would just sign an X for their name. But it's important for us to know that that has no bearing on intelligence. So just because someone doesn't write or read, it has nothing to do with someone's intelligence. So that's what those X's are on those documents. And this was written by Buffalo Tiger, who was the first chairman-in-chief, and I'm going to read it to you. To the most honorable President of the United States of America, Dwight D. Eisenhower, our most solemn and respectful greetings. We, the General Council, being the governing body of the Miccosukee tribe of Seminole Indians in the state of Florida, have met in formal council in the Everglades in this time of decision to our tribe and appeal to you as a great leader of your people to dispense the justice which will preserve our freedom, our property rights, and independence. We, the unconquered, have been at peace with your nation for over 100 years. Our history tells us that in the past, treaties have been made with the nations of Great Britain and Spain, recognizing and entitling us to vast portions of lands in what is now known as the state of Florida. When your nation in 1821 made a treaty with the country of Spain, you agreed to recognize our property rights in such of those lands that at the time were recognized by Spain. Subsequently, your nation made treaties with our independent nation, all of which were dishonored by your nation, either by failure to act or by provoked wars. Under the last treaty your nation made with our nation, we were entitled to all of those lands as shown by the map of the seat of war in Florida compiled by order of Brigadier General Zachary Taylor, principally from the surveys and reconnaissances of the officers of the U.S. Army John McKay in 1839, as well as the lands due to us under various other treaties. We, the Miccosukee tribe of the Seminole Nation, have made no requests of any kind upon your government since the Macomb Treaty of 1839. We have never asked nor taken any assistance in money or in any other thing from your nation. We have for over 100 years lived on lands in the Everglades, some of which were established as Indian reservations. For over 100 years, we have not been discontent with our relationship because you let us alone and we left you alone. For over 100 years, we have not allowed the conduct we've received from your government to disturb us in spite of the many insults to our nation, chief of which has been the deliberate confusion of our Miccosukee tribe of Indians. In order to avoid recognition of our tribal government, our independence, our rights, and our customs, now and for the first time in over 100 years, we are obliged to address ourselves to your government. There has been filed before the Indian Claims Commission in your government without our authority, a claim supposedly by us and supposedly to compensate our tribe with money for the lands taken from us by the United States government. We want no money. The Congress of the United States, we learn, is considering laws to make us equal, supposedly to the white men, and to take away what little tribal lands your government has left us, all under the theory that our tribe wants to be or should be treated as white men, with the rights of white men to our own individual land. We have expressed our wishes, our customs, and our view as a tribe through our general council, which governs us, to your government officials, but have been ignored, given little courtesy, and much insult. We have been told to change the form of our government under which we have lived for centuries. We have and had for centuries our own culture, our own customs, our own government, and our own language, our own way of life, which is different from the government, culture, customs, language, and way of life of the white man. We do not say that we are superior or inferior to the white man, and we do not say that the white man is superior or inferior to us. We do not say that we are not white men, but we are Indians. We do not wish to become white men, but wish to remain Indians and have an outlook on all of these things different from the outlook of white men. We do not wish to own lands because our land is for all of us. We live on our land, which is the land of all of our tribe, and we live on our land, which is the land of all of our tribe. We have failed to have your Indian agent or the Secretary of Interior understand our outlook. We are therefore solemnly and respectfully requesting that you appoint a special representative to act for you, who is fair and impartial, and who will meet with us, and we can make ourselves understood to him, so that we may try to so that they may try to understand us and get a satisfactory agreement between your nation and our nation on the preservation of these lands, to which we are entitled to under all the past treaties and under the law of nations, under justice and the recognition of our tribal government, so that we and you may live together in this land, which was once all of our land. Signed 26th day of February, 1954 by the General Council. What I would like to do is just thank you for allowing me to read it, and that we may just spend time letting that sink in, that we do, this is not ancient, this is how the sovereign nation that we live amongst feels today. And it's important that we recognize and learn how to integrate their thoughts and their feelings into our existence while we're here. And thank you for allowing me to share with you today.
What words can be spoken? Let's just let it sink in, and let us see if there's some way that we in the future can bring peace between our nations at a real foundational level, and stop treating the Indian nations and minorities and farm workers and so many other people in our society as other. They are not other. They and we are one. when we recognize that we can't possibly do the things that our nation is trying to do, not only to the Indians and farm workers, but to women in this country, to minorities in this country, to people around the world. The values that we in this congregation stand for are foundational to what we have come to believe is basic for our country and the way that we want people to be treated. Let us have a vision where our country becomes what it is that we wish it to become. That we all are one. Let us join now in singing hymn number 20, Be Thou My Vision. And now by our program, you know that we want to talk about the offering. Another issue of transformation for us. We transform our labor into something desired in our community, as well as financial resources for our own well-being. Then by our choices, we can help transform portions of our community by our financial contributions. And again, we are transformed by our generosity. Well, by our affiliation with this congregation, we have made the commitment of support for the fullness of life as expressed in the incredible principles of the UUA and for their propagation within our congregational life, and also for the promotion and adoption of their essence in our broader community life. Oh, would that that would happen. Our principles are regenerative gifts that the world so desperately needs in this period of transition and emergence. A message of spiritual and social transformation we must discover, uncover, share, and inculcate into the fabric of our community. A not so small task in our current broader community. One of the ways we live these spiritual values, of course, in the world is by making them real through a form of our personal financial contributions. We are now invited to make manifest our commitment to this community and to be generous in giving support to the work of this congregation and our designated community sharing organization during this very challenging time. This month's community sharing partner is the Alliance for Fair Food, and we are blessed to have two wonderful representatives of this incredible organization who will speak with us now. Lupe Gonzalez is the speaker, and Selle Ramirez is the interpreter. Thank you, Mark.
Muchas gracias por la invitación. Mi nombre es Lupe Gonzalo, parte de la Coalición de Trabajadores en Immokalee.
Thank you so much for inviting us here today. My name is Lupe Gonzalo. We're here from the Coalition of Immokalee Workers, and speaking for myself, my name is Giselle.
Muchas gracias por la ofrenda del día de hoy. Para nosotros es bastante importante para seguir avanzando en nuestro trabajo.
Thank you so much for today's invitation and offering. For us, it is very important to continue this work.
La Coalición de Trabajadores de Immokalee es una organización que está basada en Immokalee.
The Coalition of Immokalee Workers is an organization that is based in Immokalee.
Somos una organización dirigida por trabajadores agrícolas migrantes de diferentes países.
We're an organization that's led by farm workers from different countries.
Y nosotros estamos enfocados en proteger los derechos humanos de los trabajadores.
And we're focused on protecting the human rights of these farm workers.
Por muchos años los trabajadores hemos enfrentado diferentes situaciones de abuso.
For many years, us workers have faced so many different types of abuses.
Robos de salario, acoso sexual y en casos más extremos esclavitud moderna.
Such as robbed wages, sexual assault, and in most extreme cases, modern day slavery.
Por eso nuestra organización ha luchado por años para prevenir que estos abusos siguen pasando.
And that is why our organization has worked for so many years to work towards preventing these abuses from continuing.
Entonces tenemos campañas con las grandes corporaciones que compran los tomates en los ranchos donde trabajamos.
And we have campaigns against major corporations that buy tomatoes from the farms where we work.
Y desde el 2001 que empezamos nuestra campaña por comida justa, hemos logrado traer 14 corporaciones a firmar un acuerdo.
And since we launched the campaign for fair food in 2001, we have been able to get over 14 major corporations onto the Fair Food Program.
Y en el 2011, ya que varias corporaciones firmaron un acuerdo, empezamos lo que es el programa de comida justa.
And in 2011, after we were able to get agreements with these corporations, we launched the Fair Food Program.
En todo el camino de lucha que hemos tenido con la campaña, esta congregación ha estado apoyando la coalición.
In the long journey we've had during this campaign, this congregation has been a really big help to us.
Entonces, para nosotros es sentirnos orgullosos de estar el día de hoy aquí haciendo más conexiones.
So for us, we're very proud to be able to be here today, continuing to make more connections.
Hay muchas maneras en que ustedes pueden seguir apoyando esta lucha por derechos humanos.
And there's many ways where you all can get involved in helping us fight for human rights.
Cada año nosotros tenemos una gran acción en la cual pues hacemos marchas, hacemos protestas, entonces pueden acompañarnos durante estas acciones.
So every year we have major actions where we do marches, protests, and all sorts of activities, and we invite you all to participate with us when we have those.
También tenemos un comité de líderes de fe en la cual pues también estamos organizando en tener un día de llamada para ver de qué manera pueden seguir involucrando.
And we also have a committee of faith leaders that we organize, and this year we're inviting you all to participate. We're planning a day of call to action.
También en Immokalee tenemos un museo, la cual ustedes pueden venir y visitar la oficina de la coalición, ver el museo para aprender más de nuestro trabajo.
And we also have a museum in Immokalee, and we invite you all to come visit us in Immokalee so you can come walk through the museum and get to learn a little bit more about these modern day slavery cases.
Entonces, muchas gracias por la ofrenda del día de hoy. Esto contribuye a seguir haciendo sesiones de educación a los trabajadores, de obtener recursos gratis a los trabajadores.
Yeah, and thank you so much again for today's offering. All your contributions will go towards continuing our education trips where we visit farms to educate them about their human rights and protections.
Afuera de la iglesia tenemos una mesa de información donde tenemos botones, stickers y también algo de información de la coalición.
So right outside the sanctuary, we have a table where we've laid out some buttons, stickers, and information for you all.
Y vamos a estar aquí después del servicio. Si ustedes tienen preguntas, si ustedes quieren acercar con nosotros y platicar, háganlo con confianza.
And we'll be here after the service, so if you have any questions or if you would like to get to know us more, we'll be here, and yeah.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And please join us for coffee and food in Hobart Hall when we're done. We'll have a chance for you to meet more people there. As is our custom here in UUCFM, all undesignated funds in the offering this morning and for the month of May will be given to our community sharing partner, in this case, the Fair Food Alliance. You may also designate a portion of your offering to the Alliance for Fair Food, either on your check or envelope, or for those of you contributing online, please use the donate button on the website and marking it as you wish for community sharing partner and congregation. And those of you who know me, when I'm up here, don't forget that loose change in your pocket or purse may be an easy and painless way to increase your contribution to the Alliance for Fair Food. They have done tremendous work over the years to make things right, to see farm workers differently than other, and to see the value of them for the things that they do for us. And so now, may you and we generously contribute to the great work of this congregation and the Alliance for Fair Food Alliance, I should say, as surely your contributions will be gratefully received. Please rise and repeat together, by the work of our hands and the work of our hearts, our love is made real. May we be grateful for all that is given and grateful for all that is shared. And before we extinguish the chalice, let me just say that I wish that we all will look in deep within the people that we will be meeting this coming week and see if we can see the light within them, that we might recognize it and be honoring of it. So repeat with me, please, that we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
As you go forth, may you reflect the goodness and the light that greet you from the sun and the wind and the water. The daily blessings of life that come to us free of charge. Go forth in love, and peace be with you.
We look forward to seeing you all next Sunday, both here at the Zoom address that you're using today and on our beautiful UUCFM campus here in the sanctuary. Please, please share the joy you have experienced here at UUCFM with family and friends, and invite them to join us in this beloved community and all we stand for and do. It is such a joy to share what it means to be in this community. And during the postlude, please greet your neighbor here in the sanctuary or electronically at home. And for those of you online, there will be an online conversation following this service with Sister Robin Merrill, so we bid you a joyous day and farewell from the sanctuary until we can once again share the joy of your presence. And for those of you present in person, please join us in Hobart Hall for coffee and food as we celebrate the educational achievements of Leslie Peterson. In her completing her Bachelor of Arts degree in Religion and Cultural Studies, cum laude, with music and medieval and Renaissance studies minors. Congratulations, Leslie. We know that it has been a journey for you. We have already received some things from you from that journey, and we look forward to more and more from you as you participate in our community. And may we all be caught up in the sacred spirit of creating the world of belonging our hearts know is possible. May the light of our inner being shine brightly in our every interaction, and may the spirit of love surround you everywhere you may go. Go now in peace for all our relations. Amen.